Assalamu alaikum, am I audible? So do let me know if you want me to give this lecture in English or Urdu, or we can do both. So the today's topic for the lecture is enforcement of women property right 21. Okay. So before we dive into this act, let's just discuss kaun si property rights, what kind of property or what kind of rights we can associate to the property. So the generic or the broader terms, I guess everyone would be aware of as real property or personal property or intellectual property, which is very prevalent right now. So when we talk about the rights of such properties, we can say that we have the rights we can associate to it as that right to acquire, or right to earn from that property, or right to dispose of that property, or right to transfer that property. So in on an international level, we do have UDHR, European Union, and we have Patent Treaty and Copyrights Act and other different acts. But this act is relevant to Pakistan. So when we talk about women's property rights, let's talk about what rights women can have, or what ways women can have these rights. So one of these are the general property rights. Suppose that a woman is purchasing a property, she has the right to acquire it, use it. The second one is the inheritance rights, especially to Muslim women. The Muslim woman has the right to have a share in his parents or his sons or his or her husband's property. And then we have a there is a practice right now that parents do give property in dowry, or uh, they have been reported judgments where parents have given properties through will or through gift deeds. So when we talk about these, there are legislations. First of all, obviously we have the Constitution. We have Article 23 and Article 24 of the Constitution that deals with property rights. First, Article 23 clearly states that any person without being gendered has the right to acquire, to dispose of, to hold the property. And Article 24 obviously deals with the protection of such property rights. And then we have Muslim Family Law Ordinance, then we have married women property rights, and then we have anti-woman practices rights. So why is there a need for the enforcement of property rights? First of all, obviously there is a tradition of women not getting their rights, or not getting their inheritance rights, or they have been deprived of such rights because of the traditional norms, that it is not considered traditional for women to ask for their property rights, especially inheritance rights. And again, from a legal perspective, there is a quite lengthy court procedure, or I would say delayed justice, when it comes to property. We have seen that civil courts or family courts, there it takes years and years for them to decide that the cases. And obviously, the financial loss that occurs. Can you hear me? Okay, so when we are so when women are going to courts, and there's a financial loss, obviously, and the share may be not that much. How much? I mean, it won't cover the financial loss that a woman has occurred. So this act is an effort for women to get speedy remedy. So in 2020, the Enforcement of Property Rights Act was enacted or passed, but it was only applied in the federal capital, Islamabad. And then in 2021, the Punjab Enforcement of Property Rights Act was passed by the Provincial Assembly, and this is applied in whole of Punjab. So the preamble of this act states that it is it protects and secures the women property rights, that they may not be infringed. Uh, they may not be infringed from a harassment, force, coercion, or yeah. So this is a preamble. So basically, the purpose of this act is to secure the rights of the of women. And the first there are few the second section deals with the first section deals with the scope and the extent of this act. It states that it is applied in the whole of Punjab. Section 2 deals with the definition. The complainant is can only be a woman. This platform is only for women, so only women can start proceedings. The government means the government of Punjab. Ombudsperson, the ombudsperson is the same office which was established in 2013 with respect to protection against harassment of women in Workplace Act. And the prescribed means prescribed by the rules. Property includes any movable or immovable property. Rules are the rules under this act. Section 3 deals with the powers of the ombudsperson. It is similar to the powers of the ombudsperson, which was appointed under the protection of women against harassment at workplace. They have the right, they have the powers to hear the case, they have the power to decide the case, and they can also refer the case to the court. And section 4 is a very important section. It gives a detailed description of what is the procedure when when a woman decides that she wants to file a complaint in ombudsperson. So she can file a complaint to the ombudsperson, and ombudsperson can and there's a proviso to this section. The ombudsperson on his own motion can can start a proceedings where it feels that, or a non-governmental organization may also initiate an action under subsection 1, that they can file a complaint against a person who has deprived a woman of her property rights. Then the ombudsperson has to do a preliminary assessment, and if he or she feels that this matter needs more inquiry or more investigation, they would refer this matter to the deputy commissioner, and that deputy commissioner within 15 days have to submit a report to the ombudsperson. The ombudsperson then is bound to issue any order within 60 days of the receiving of the complaint. So this act is an effort to give speedy remedy. So they have bound the ombudsperson to give the decision in 60 days. There's this website of the Office of the Ombudsperson, and that is very helpful website because they have given a very detailed description of what is included in the application. So first of all, obviously, the person has to give his own details, his full name, his designation, his phone number, his address, and then the person against whom whom the complaint is being filed. And then they have to give a very detailed narration of what the matter is. And they can file this application through via post, or they can go to the ombudsperson office and they can file the application there. And the website of the ombudsperson also has a sample or a template of the application, which they can look up, which a complainant can look up to, or they can even go to the ombudsperson office and they can request that the registrar or the staff can give them the template, and they can use the template to file their own application. And now, if the under section 4, if the ombudsperson after the decision or that ombudsperson has given, and the complainant has still not been given the possession of the property, then the ombudsperson can direct the deputy commissioner or the state functionary to take steps in order to restore the possession of the property of the complainant. And then the ombudsperson can also direct the officer in charge of a police for such assistance, जो भी that whatever he thinks is necessary in order to give or in order to give the legal possession of the property to the complainant, and that shall be done in within 7 days after the ombudsperson has directed the deputy commissioner or the police in charge. Section 6 deals that if upon preliminary assessment or after the report of the deputy commissioner, the ombudsperson thinks that this matter still requires in-depth inquiry or investigation or detailed recording of evidence, then he shall or she shall refer the matter to civil court, because the ombudsperson do not have the power to record evidence, and this shall be done within the given time period, within a reasonable time period. So, and the civil court also is bound to give the decision within 60 days of the receipt of the reference. Section 7 is a very important, again, very important section, because this first subsection 1 deals that if a civil suit is already pending before a civil court, that does not restrict the complainant to initiate a corresponding proceeding in the ombudsperson. So even if this civil suit is pending related to the property, the complainant can still file the complaint in the ombudsperson. But there is limitation to this as well, because if the ombudsperson has followed all the procedure that is given in section 4, and he thinks that he can give the decision, there's no need for the recording of evidence, then he has to give a report to the court of civil that they have to withdraw the suit, and so that the ombudsperson can the ombudsperson can decide the case. So when the ombudsperson has done his preliminary assessment, or he has seen the report of the deputy commissioner, and he thinks that there is no need for further inquiry or there is no need for evidence recording, so he shall tell or he shall request the civil court or or he can also ask the complainant to withdraw the case from civil court, or he can ask the complainant to withdraw. He can give the complainant a choice. Either he can go for the civil suit or he can go for the ombudsperson case. Either of the two cases have to be withdrawn for the case to proceed further. And this was decided in the case Ali Ahmed versus Office of the Ombudsperson, Mohtasib, Punjab, 2022, LHC 398. This is one of the prevalent judgment given by Asim Hafiz, in which he has given a detailed discussion of what Section 7 is, and how even if the law does not put a bar, that subsequent proceedings can be initiated in both of the jurisdictions, but still, when it's time for the decision, one of the case has to be withdrawn. Then Section 8 deals with loss of rent, when it states that when a case has been when the case is proceeded as under Section 5, or when the case has been decided, whatever financial loss the person has or the complainant has whatever financial loss the complainant, the woman, has, that financial loss will be equivalent to the rent of the property, the relevant property in question, or the market rate, whatever the market rate is, for the duration of the time when the person was deprived of the property. Section 9, execution of the orders, deals with the execution of the orders. The ombudsperson may direct any executive state functionary, including the relevant deputy commissioner, where the property is situated, to execute the order in letter and spirit. If any of the order, for example, if the accused person is not coming to, who the ombudsperson is not coming to the dates, then the ombudsperson can direct the deputy commissioner to execute its order in letter and spirit. And then again, the government of Punjab can appoint officers which can be helpful, or which are useful for carrying out the object or purpose of this act. Section 11 states that when a decision is given or no other court can object on the jurisdiction of the ombudsperson or the validity of its action taken. And then last section deals with power to make rules. The government can make rules to carry out this act. Now, uh, this ombudsperson, the chairman, the ombudsperson is Miss Nabila Khan. She has been, and this ombudsperson since its inception in 2013 has been governed or has been chaired by a woman. The consultants sometimes are men, but mostly they are women. So as women can, they are at ease with women hearing their cases. So it is a good effort to to make way for women to get their rights easily and with less time as compared to the civil suits. What if a woman want help? There's Department of Women Development in Punjab, which is conducting awareness campaigns against uh, in all types of practices against women. They have a helpline 1043, and if they receive a call, they direct them towards ombudsperson. Ombudsperson deals with them. Now, coming to the practical application of this act, I have taken upon few cases from this, and there is a detailed list of decisions that the ombudsperson has given on their website. There is a few drawback when it comes to the time, because I guess it's a new act and people are still getting hang of it. There are not a lot of judgments. There's one prevalent judgment or one relevant judgment which Asim Hafiz has given, Ali Ahmed versus the Office of Ombudsperson. And apart from that, there are not a lot of judgments that interpret this act very well. So at times, what I have faced in this office is that when it comes to the decision making, there's a lot of disagreement between the consultants whether to take up the case. Sometimes they do interpret Section 7 as that no, we can give the decision even if we do not report to the civil court that the case has to be withdrawn. So at the decision state, there is some, I would say, inconsistency with the interpretation of Section 7. But having said that, this is a great platform for women who are deprived of their rights for property, and they can get easy remedy. There have been decisions that are given, and women are getting remedy. It's and one of the benefits of this platform, I would say, is that you do not need a lawyer with them with you to go to the ombudsperson. I have seen women who take up their cases on their own. They do not come with a lawyer. They do not need any legal assistance. And the staff at uh, the regional office, Lahore, they are very cooperative. They will write you applications, they will write you complaints, even if you do not have a legal assistance with you. So, having said that, there is drawback. It is a very new law, and people are still, yeah, or the consultants are still getting hang of it. Even the chairperson there is very helpful. She meets with people, she meets with women, and she guides them very well. I do hope that in future this act can be taken up, or it can have a better impact on the society. And yeah, that's it. If anyone has any questions. So this lecture was related to the Enforcement of Women's Property Rights Act, and we have discussed the act in detail. It has only 12 sections, and it deals with how the complaint should be initiated and how these cases are brought before the ombudsperson. That was established in 2013 under the protection against harassment of women at workplaces. So the same office of ombudsperson deals with these cases. There are regional offices. The head office is in Lahore, Garden Town. Miss Nabila Khan is the chairman. Um, coming to the applications, the complainant can only be a woman who has been deprived of her right to property. So she can initiate an application uh, in the ombudsperson office. She can give the application via post, or she can go to the ombudsperson office herself and uh, lodge an application there. The ombudsperson, duties of the ombudsperson is that he shall or he or she shall do a preliminary assessment, him or herself. And if he thinks that no, there is a need for further investigation, he shall ask or he shall refer the case to the deputy commissioner, and deputy commissioner should file a report of the investigation of further inquiry before the ombudsperson. And even after the report, if the ombudsperson think that, oh no, this case requires recording of the evidence or further inquiry, as the ombudsperson do not has the power to record evidence, so he shall refer the case to the civil court, and civil court should decide the case within 60 days. If there is no need for further inquiry or recording of the evidence, then the ombudsperson shall call upon the parties, hear their arguments, and then decide the case within 60 days. So this act is an effort for women to get speedy remedy. So there has been a bar on the ombudsperson to decide the case within 60 days. What the practice is that the consultants there, for example, in Lahore, there are two consultants and an ombudsperson. So the consultants do hear cases, they go through the proceedings, and then the file is given to the ombudsperson, and then she decides the case. And it's 60 days, or it can take more. The practice is that it's not always 60 days. It is time-taking procedure, but most of the cases, not if not all, are decided within the time period. One of the sections that is very important is section 7, which I do believe that there is not very it is not interpreted very well. There is only one reported judgment, which is Ali Ahmed versus the Office of Ombudsperson. It is the only relevant decision for the Ombudsperson Office in respect to the enforcement of women's property rights. So, according to Section 7, a person can initiate a complaint in the Ombudsperson Office even if her suit is pending in the civil court. But having said that, when the ombudsperson goes through the inquiry procedure, goes through every procedure, and if he or she thinks that there's no need for recording of evidence, then they have to file a reference to the court requesting the court that the civil suit should be dismissed, and then the ombudsperson can decide, or they can give the choice to the complainant as well to decide which case they want to take up. So when the case has been decided by the ombudsperson, the execution part is that when if the complainant is still not given the possession of the property, then the ombudsperson can ask the deputy commissioner or the officer in charge to execute its orders. And for the time being, when the case or when the possession was when the complainant was deprived of possession, the financial loss that has been occurred, that would be equivalent to the rent of the property or the market value of that rent of such and such property, and that will be given to the uh, complainant. There is a website, Office of the Ombudsperson. They have a detailed description of what is the requirement of the property, or what is the requirement of the application, sorry. and they have the sample template of the application in English and in Urdu. They have there is a list of decisions. You can simply get a PDF of that of decisions that have been decided by the ombudsperson in relation to the enforcement of women's property. It's a very new law, and there are uh, some indiscrepancies related to the law and the practices, obviously. But I do feel like that it has a great potential. The Office of Ombudsperson for Women has a great potential, and the staff there is very helpful. And in future, maybe this can be a very uh, it can be a successful effort for women to get their rights. That's it. Any questions? So basically, within 30 days, if the decision of the consultant, it can be appealed before the ombudsperson, and the ombudsperson has to decide the case. And the second appellant authority is the governor, and even a reference to the court can be filed as well. Can you hear me? So there is no obviously uh, adopted children is a very controversial topic when it comes to Pakistan. If we look at the religious perspective, there is obviously no rights, but there have been reported cases where parents have gifted or through will given their some of the property to the adopted child. And even if the property is given through will or through gift deeds, even that girl or that woman can file a complaint in the ombudsperson office if she is deprived of that right. Because if the gift deed is legal, if the will is legal, she has the right to that property or to the possession and ownership of that property. Does that answer your question?